is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a little solo trip vlog, a little 48 hours in Toronto. I'm so excited to be here. I said this in my travel day vlog, but I don't care where I go, whether it's Toronto, New York City, Europe, anything. I am always just so grateful that I can travel because I didn't start traveling until I was a little bit older, and so I will forever be grateful for anywhere I get to go, and I'm so excited to be here. If you guys are new to my channel or just clicking on this video, I live in Ottawa, or sorry, no I don't anymore. I live just outside of Ottawa in the country, and my management team for YouTube is here in Toronto. I like to come up once or twice a year just to meet with them, hang out, and then meet with some brands and agencies because Toronto's kind of like the social media hub of Canada. So I like to come up here and just meet with brands and do check-ins because obviously if you live in Toronto or the GTA, you get to go to all these events and network with those brands, and because I live in Ottawa, I don't really get to do that as much. So I love coming up a few times a year, and I take it as the opportunity to do a little bit of a solo trip. So I have kind of like one day to myself and then one work day, and I got here last night around 7 p.m. You guys watched that travel day vlog. I had a really nice dinner. I'm actually staying at the Drake Hotel, which I can say now because you guys won't see this vlog until I leave. And the dinner I had at their hotel restaurant was absolutely incredible. It was so good. I had the best burger and fries and then a really good like zero proof alcohol free spritz. It was amazing. I personally really enjoy staying in the Liberty Village area because it feels a little less city, which is kind of ironic for someone who's coming to Toronto, but I am not a city person at all. Like, I love visiting and love going to New York City and stuff, but when I'm here by myself, I just really love the feel of Liberty Village. It kind of just feels like walking through a neighborhood. There's not a ton, I mean, I'm staring at like a skyscraper apartment, but it kind of just gives off more of like a trendy neighborhood vibe, and I really like that. It's my third time staying in the Liberty Village area. I will say that I do rent a car when I'm here so that I can kind of get around the city quick and easy. I don't think that's necessary at all. However, because I'm here by myself, I'm a very anxious person. I get a little weary of taking like public transportation at night and walking places. So for my like personal comfort and safety, I do usually rent a car when I'm here. Ends up being so much cheaper than getting Ubers because I feel like no one likes to drive in the city. I really don't mind it. Have been pretty lucky. I have like a parking app on my phone. So if you do come to Toronto, there is an app, I'll put it on the screen, that you can use, and it helps you kind of find the best deal on parking. I don't think I've ever paid more than like $5-6 for parking because I know parking can be really expensive in the city. I'm only here for such a short period of time, and I only maybe have like an hour or two between meetings. I just find it really helpful to have a car so I can try out places that I may not be able to like walk to in time or wait for a streetcar / bus. So anyways, I just got up early this morning and I walked to get a coffee at Jimmy's Coffee. I love it. I actually first went to Forget Me Not and they gave me a coffee, and I don't know if I just got a bad batch or what, but it was so bitter. And I usually get an Americano Misto when I'm out, which is just like an Americano with some like steamed milk, and it was cold and it just wasn't really great. So I drank a little bit of it, and then I ended up just going to Jimmy's to get a coffee because I really enjoy their coffee. Hey, there's something about like wandering around a city with like, you know, one AirPod for safety, but like listening to a podcast or music and just like walking into whatever coffee shop you find. That is just so fun. But I went to Jimmy's Coffee last time I was here and I really enjoyed the coffee. So I went and grabbed a coffee there. I worked for a few hours and now it's about 11, and my plan for today is I am going to head out and get bagels at this spot. I believe it's called Primrose Bagel that everyone talks about. And then I'm gonna come back here. There is a vintage shop just down the street that opened just at 11 that I really want to go to, and then I'll come back to the hotel, drop my things, freshen up, maybe change. It's kind of that awkward weather where it's a little chillier in the morning, but it should be really nice midday. Then I'm going to walk over to Kensington and do some thrifting, and then I'm meeting up with Mo, and I'm so excited. You guys probably know Morgan Book on like TikTok and Instagram. She is also with my management team, and I just love her so much. We're really good friends. So we're gonna hang out together for the afternoon, and then we're gonna meet up with our manager for dinner. So that's kind of the plan for today. And then tomorrow is like my meeting heavy day. So I have a few meetings. I think I have one at 9:30 and then one at 1 with some really fun big brands that I love. So that's really exciting. And then that's kind of why I have the car, so that like in between those meetings I can kind of like bounce around town. and then my flight tomorrow's at 4 p.m. So really quick trip. I'm really excited to spend it with you guys. Absolutely obsessed with this hotel. I love it so much. The staff have been really nice. I really try to book boutique hotels where I can, just to like kind of support a local boutique hotel, and they're often just so unique and eclectic and fun, and that's what I love. Like, how cute is this wallpaper? That's that. I read a little bit of my book this morning. I'm reading Cursed Bread by Sophie McIntosh, which is just so good so far. I'm really curious to see where it's gonna go. I also I'm really just clearly on a streak with like feral, unhinged women literary fiction books. It's my favorite right now. I also want to preface this because sometimes I get comments, which is totally fair when I film these kind of like travel vlogs, solo vlogs, or when I'm with Matt, and everyone has different priorities when they travel. I personally, you know, I want to go to coffee shops. I am not a huge foodie. Like, I'll literally just walk into any restaurant and eat, honestly. I love bookstores, I love thrifting, and I just love walking around aimlessly like throughout cities and exploring. And I know that's not everyone's preferred way to travel, or maybe some people are foodies and like to go to museums. I mean, we definitely love going to museums. I just don't really have the time on this trip. So I just want to kind of put that shout out there that there's a lot of like thrifting, coffee shops, bookstores, and all that in this video. So if that's not your cup of tea, I'm giving you a warning now, but that's kind of the plan. So I'm gonna get ready to head out and go get a bagel. I had a little croissant this morning and it was really yummy, but now I'm getting a little bit hungrier. I feel like I look like I'm going to pick up my kid from like an Ivy League preschool or something. Like, I'm giving off like mom vibes. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's the fresh blowout, honestly, that makes it look this way. And I'm just so happy to be blonde again. I got my hair done recently and I just feel so much more myself. So anyways, let's head out and go on some adventures this morning. For you guys on my phone, it's just a lot easier because I have the mic on this camera. Let's head out, do some exploring, and I'm so excited to spend the next few days together. We're back from our morning adventure. I'm just quickly coming to charge my phone and probably change because it's getting really warm out. I feel like my favorite part about solo trips is, although Matt is so good at like going with the flow, and I am the type A person in the relationship, so I always just like plan our trips out. I can just change my mind or do whatever I want. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like Matt's not high maintenance at all. It would totally be okay if I was like, oh, I want to go here instead. But there's just something to be said about doing it by yourself that's really nice. And yeah, so as you guys saw, we went to go get bagels. They were so yummy. Probably the closest thing I have found to a New York City bagel, not in New York City. I'm not a huge fan of Montreal bagels. I like them, but I definitely prefer the like bigger, fluffier New York City type bagel. And Primrose Bagel was so good. Really impressed with it. Only about a 5-kilometer drive, so it was really not bad at all. And if I go anywhere, I try and just go on off traffic times. Now it is almost noon, so I drove to get bagels, drove back, parked the car, and then I just kind of walked down Queen Street east from where we are at the Drake. So the Drake's here, and if you go to the, well, is this the right to you guys or the left? To me, when I'm filming this is the left, but it's probably the right to you guys. So if I come out of the hotel and go to the left, that's like Ossington, Kensington direction. And then I went to the right, which I don't know what that street is called, but I basically went that way, and that's where like Craig's Cookies is. There's a Dip Donut location, and I went to Public Butter Vintage. Oh my goodness, their prices were so reasonable. If you're in the Toronto area or you're visiting, I highly recommend. I was really impressed with their prices. Their graphic tees were like $20, and I feel like especially like a curated vintage store or vintage market, it's really easy to mark up the cost. So really happy with that. I'm so washed out and I don't know why. I was really impressed, especially with it being Toronto too. It's a bit more expensive to begin with, and I had so much self-control, and I only walked out with one shirt because I don't have a ton of room in my suitcase. But Oh, so good. So for example, this was only $22.99, which even in Ottawa at like 613 Flea, their t-shirts go for like $40-50. It's absolutely bonkers. Vintage marathon weekend long sleeve. I don't actually have a lot of long sleeves, and I find in the spring I have this huge collection of graphic tees and hoodies, but I don't have a good in between, so I'm always just like either really hot or really cold. So I'm trying to thrift some good long sleeves, and I found this one. It's a vintage marathon weekend long sleeve. I would call that a score in my books. And now I'm just going to freshen up. I think I'm going to change into like a dress or something and bring a jean jacket. That way if I get cold, I can put it on. And I am meeting Mo. I think she said she was gonna pick me up at Type Books. Like I'm just gonna kind of walk down Queen Street West to the left, and I wanted to go to Cafe 23, get another coffee. I also had a green smoothie on the way. I picked one up. It was really good. They actually had them like ready to go, which I thought was so nice. You didn't have to wait for the smoothie to be made. They make like a few of them at a time. So I got a smoothie. I just try and like balance out all the sweets and fun things. You guys know I'm like not restrictive by any means. I want to enjoy food when I'm traveling, but I just try and kind of like balance it out with some greens and whatnot. It also just helps my IBS. I feel like everyone's kind of tummies out of whack when they travel. So for me, if I can just make sure I'm getting in like green juices and smoothies and salads along the way, I can also treat myself. So, okay, you guys, quick little outfit of the day. Wearing this Reitman's button-up jean jacket shirt. I prefer this in the spring because it's obviously a lot lighter than wearing a full jean jacket. I just have it paired with a airy exercise dress. I've got my Bagels, Apple Watch, ring, Oura ring. I don't know which ones they are, but they're super comfy. These are like my Disney walking shoes, so they're definitely worn in and ready for some walking. Let's go. Hi guys, hello. We're back in the room. It might be 10 p.m. This is something I really struggle with, is finding the balance of like taking you guys along, because I just like love, especially when I'm on a trip by myself, it's just like kind of nice, and I don't really get lonely, but it's like nice to have something to kind of keep me busy. But then I also want to enjoy the moment, especially when I'm like with a good friend like Morgan. I just want to spend time with her. So anyways, I hope you guys like the mix of like chatting and B-roll. I feel like Toronto too, it's kind of like New York City. It's just so loud on the street that I just can't film with my camera anywhere. We had such a fun day and I took you guys along for a lot of it, and I'm hoping tomorrow, because I have a few hours to myself, we'll be able to kind of go out and do some things, and I'll be able to take you guys out with me. But today was just kind of one of those jam-packed days that I didn't have a break to really come to the hotel. I came back around 10:30 to change, and then I was out from like 11 to now, which is super out of my comfort zone as a homebody. Like, as much as I'm an introvert, even when we're on trips, I need to come back and like recharge at the hotel. So that's something I'm also trying to work on. But we had a really, really great day together. We just did our favorite thing, which was go to bookstores. We wandered around Toronto. We got lunch, we got Popeyes, and we got a little gelato, and we just walked around. And I'd say we catch up, but we send each other like 600,000 voice memos a day. And it was honestly it was a really great day. So something new I want to start doing is every time we go somewhere like out of town, I want to ask someone like what their favorite book was that they read recently and pick it up. I just thought that would be super fun. And I've actually been meaning to read this book for a while, so it kind of worked out. But the girl recommended I'm a Fan by Sheena Patel. She was like, what kind of literary fiction do you read? And I was like, oh, just like unhinged women doing feral things. And she was like, you will love this. This is about a girl who's stalking an influencer who's sleeping with the same guy that she is. So Anyways, and then she also gave me some other recommendations that I screenshotted just because they were only available in hardcover and I'd rather read that on my Kindle. Balfour was such a cute, cozy little like used bookstore. I ended up picking up the last 2 books that I needed in the series of Unfortunate Event and hardcover. You guys know I've been thrifting them the last few months. This is like one of my favorite childhood series, and I have all the paperbacks, but I really wanted to thrift the hardcover, so I was just missing number 7 and 12, which is The Vile Village, and then the penultimate peril. I have The End, which is number 13. So really happy about that. So those were all my goodies for the day. Hoping tomorrow we can kind of do more things out and about. I just find the city really loud and I kind of struggle to bring my camera and like vlog. Like I don't mind vlogging around people, but I struggle with the noise, especially when I edit, because like if something's not perfect, I'm just gonna like discard the whole clip, and that's something I'm also trying to work on. So I think tomorrow will be fun and I can kind of take you guys out on the camera a little bit more. We have a pretty, I wouldn't say tomorrow's as jam-packed. There's just like a lot I want to get done. So my plan is to check out before the coffee meeting, which is kind of nice that I have the car so I don't have to like I can just put the luggage in there, and I don't have to come back to the hotel in between, just because I want to get so much done in that 3-hour window. Go to the coffee meeting at 9:30. Then when that's done, I'll have about 2 hours actually, because it'll end at 10:30, and I have a few stops that I want to hit up in a few stores. Then I'll have another meeting from 1 to 2, and then I'll probably just head right to the airport because my flight's at 4. So we're gonna kind of try and fit in as much as we can tomorrow, but I've been honestly having so much fun. I feel like Toronto kind of gives me New York City vibes in the sense that like there's just something new you could do every time you come. Like you could have a totally new itinerary every time you come to the city, no matter how many times you've been here. You can always stay in a new spot, always find a new coffee shop, always find new things to do. And yeah, but I really want to have a trip where we come and do all the touristy things, because I feel like I haven't really ever done those, like the CN Tower and the aquarium and stuff. Like this is very much like a things I like coffee shops and bookstores and vintage stores, but there's obviously so much to see and do in Toronto. Like I could literally spend a week here, honestly, and maybe I will in the future, who knows, but we will be back here in July for a few days as well for work. And yeah, but I am going to get ready for bed. I just wanted to do a quick check-in and say goodnight to you guys. I had such a great day with Morgan. I'm just so grateful for a friend like her. I'll chat with you guys in the morning. We'll have a fun second day here in Toronto, and then we will head home, see Matt and the girls. I'm so excited, and yeah, I will see you guys in the morning. Hi, hello. It is currently 11:20. We have exactly an hour to explore, and I'm gonna butcher the name of the street because Thomas made fun of me because I said Roncesvalles and he said Roncesvalles or something like that. So anyways, I don't know how you pronounce it, but there are a few stores I want to go to over here. I'm trying to get as much done as I can in an hour. I just paid for parking. It was only $2.75 honestly, which is great for the city. And so my plan is to hit up a few little stores. I kind of just want to walk up and down this strip. There's a bookstore, just like some boutique stores I want to check out, and then 2 vintage stores, and we'll probably grab coffee and maybe like a sandwich or a smoothie. Honestly, I just need something. I had a little like pastry with my coffee at Deneen Coffee, which was so good, by the way. And yeah, now we're gonna do some exploring, and I'm really excited. Then I have my next coffee meeting. We're gonna head to the airport. So let's see how much we can get done in an hour. I just changed into something a little bit more breathable just because it is kind of warm outside. And yeah, so let's see how much we can get done in the next hour. and honestly, so far, so good, so fun. I really recommend walking around the street. It's just like, it feels like a nice little, kind of feels like Liberty Village, like more of like a little suburb and not the city if you're looking for that kind of feel. But it's a really nice long street. I don't know how long it is in total, but if I had like just an extra hour, I could definitely walk it from top to end. But because I only have an hour today, my action plan was to park at the top, do like the 4 stores at the top I wanted to do, and then drive to the bottom and do the 4 stores on the bottom that I wanted to do, because I paid for parking for an hour for the whole street. So that's kind of my action plan. So I did the 4 stops at the top, and then I decided to stop into a little Italian grocery store for a sandwich, because that is just where you get the best sandwiches, honestly. The salami sandwich for lunch, and then Mantel Coffee, they were doing donuts. I guess they do donuts on Tuesdays. So I got an apple fritter, but look how good this apple fritter looks, you guys. Oh my gosh, I have to take a bite now. I'm so excited. It's more of a crunchier apple fritter, if that's your thing. I think you either like crunchy apple fritters or soft apple fritters. I'm more of a soft apple fritter girl. This is really, really good. They had other donuts too. They had cronuts as well that looked really yummy. Pretty sure the sandwich is on focaccia, and it's so fresh and yummy. Yum. We have had quite the adventure of a day. I honestly feel like we got so much done while we were here. I am on the ferry back to the airport now, so I figured I should probably close this vlog off. I feel like we really did a lot this time, and we didn't really do anything that we did last time, which is, like I said, what I love so much about coming to Toronto or a big city, is that you can have a different itinerary every single time, which I think is so fun. But it's days like today is also a bit tricky for me to vlog, because I obviously don't want to like just pull my camera out when I'm in work meetings, because they're usually over like breakfast or lunch. So I didn't get a ton of clips at the restaurants we were at, but one kitchen was good. I just got a smoothie because I'd eaten that sandwich before. And then after we finished up that lunch meeting, I went to Curiosa, which is like the one spot I wanted to make sure that I went to on this trip, which is the most amazing store if you're like a Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, witchy kind of lover. I highly recommend, if you're in Toronto, checking it out. It was just heaven for like a fantasy nerd like me. So I went there, and then I was hoping to stop at Le Gourmand to get a cookie on the way back, because it was on my way back from Curiosa. Like Curiosa, Billy Bishop, and then Le Gourmand was here, but I didn't realize it was like right in the city, and it's just a bit harder to find parking. I feel like most of the things that I do when I come to Toronto are kind of on the outskirts of like the, I don't know, like main city part, and so parking isn't usually super expensive, and I can find street parking really easy. So for example, when we went down Rosenvales earlier, I don't even know how you say it, I easily found street parking that was, where else was it? Oh, Curiosa, that was kind of like on the outskirts, and I found once again street parking that was free for an hour. So I feel like because I'm doing things that are a bit outside of the city, I'm not having too hard of a time finding parking, and it's not crazy expensive. But when I realized that Le Gourmand was like right in the city, and it was kind of, not that it's rush hour, it's 3:15, I was like, I really don't have time to like park the car underground, walk, get a cookie and coffee, get back in the car, and then come to the airport. So I just decided to come back to the airport, get changed into something comfy, and go. I think there's a lounge here now. I don't know if there's always been one, like maybe I just didn't know where it was, but I feel like it's kind of recent that they got an Air Canada lounge, so I'm probably gonna grab a coffee or something. That was our little solo trip to Toronto. I'll film another one in July when I'm here too, and obviously let me know down below if you guys have any recommendations, because I would love to know what like maybe a local likes to do around here. And I really hope next time I can get to more vintage stores. I know that Kensington has a lot of good vintage stores, and so does Ossington, but I just wasn't really in that area too much on this trip. But I'm really hoping next time to go to a bunch of vintage stores, because I think I went to 2 and I was successful at both of them. Obviously, the more vintage and thrift stores, the better. So let me know down below if you guys have any recommendations for me to do next time. I would love to know. But I am going to return the rental car, and all that. Oh, I also added up all the parking just to kind of see if the rental car was worth it. And I ended up in parking overall just paying shy of $40. So the car was $47 to rent and my parking added up to be $40. And so I ended up paying about $100 even. I only had to put $10 of gas in the car because I didn't really go very far. So I still think for me personally, it was worth it for $100. That included like hotel parking and stuff. That was the most expensive. Me, I think it was still worth it just because I wanted to do so much that was kind of all over the city. Oh, sorry, the ferry's so loud. And the Ubers would have just added up really quick. But if you're planning on staying like right in the downtown part of the city, I feel like a car would be really expensive with parking just because parking can be anywhere from like $20, $30 for a day in the city. So I guess it kind of just depends what you're trying to get done when you're here. If you're going to be like really in like the city part of the city, or if you're going to be kind of like on the outskirts, Liberty Village, Ossington, like I was. You guys know my favorite part about going on trips, whether it be with Matt or by myself, is just wandering around a city, exploring. And I think Toronto's a good place to go if you're from like the Ottawa area because it's not too far, or even like Montreal. It doesn't have to be anything big or elaborate. You don't have to go overseas or to a different country. You can explore a city near you. And I do really think the key for solo trips too is to do things that you enjoy doing. That's obviously what's going to make it fun. Like if you're going out to like these bougie restaurants and doing all the stuff that you don't enjoy, you're not going to enjoy the trip. Whereas I love thrifting and coffee shops and bookstores. And so when I do things that I want to do on solo trips, it makes it obviously a lot more enjoyable. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and I will chat with you guys next time. And I love you guys so much. And yeah, bye.